The second part of the reason why I moved back to nature and changed my life completely. If you've seen the first part, you know already how it all started, but I give you a short summary of what I explained in the first part of this series of why I moved back to nature and changed my life. So it all started when I was decided to play tennis again on a high level, and I wanted to be better than others on a high age at the young seniors, and I knew that I have to be fitter than others to be successful. And at a higher age, that was meaning that you have to stay healthy longer than others, and in that way you can stay fitter than others. And I was reading several books about this to improve my health and my fitness, therefore. That was inspired by athletes like Novak Djokovic, tennis player, of course, you probably know him, and the football player Tom Brady, who both have been extremely successful at staying healthy at a higher age and being super successful at a higher age. So yeah, that's something that sparked the whole thing. I was reading these books and trying to follow their methods, and it worked out pretty well until I hurt my shoulder. And I was reading another book by a guy who was a Navy SEAL, and his book Can't Hurt Me actually hurt me because I was going too far and followed his method by ignoring the pain and trying harder than others, which was not so good advice because I overdid it, and I had a shoulder injury and the doctors wanted to do an operation, and I decided to try to heal it naturally, and it worked out. And that was a next big step for me, a big motivation for me. And I healed myself with fasting. That's something I implemented already when I was turning around my health for being a better tennis player. So I did extended water fasts and red light therapy, infrared sauna, and used some supplements and more natural food. And I was able to heal my shoulder completely. The tendon that was half torn came back, and I have no more pain since then. And that was amazing. The doctors couldn't basically believe it, but it was true. And yeah, that changed my view about many things and gave me a lot of motivation to go even deeper into that topic and try to improve my health even more with the doctors that sparked these ideas in me. So I followed many doctors on YouTube. Since then, I read many books, and many books from doctors about nutrition and health, but also books about longevity, or basically how you stay healthy for a longer time. So you live longer and stay healthy while you live longer. So you don't suffer the last years of your life being ill and immobile and out of energy and stuff like that. Yeah, and these doctors, the basic doctors about natural remedies and health, and experts in healthy living and nutrition, they have been yeah, Dr. David Sinclair, which read the book about longevity, and he also has many good advice about how to stay healthy longer and what kind of rules you have to follow. And then the main guy, I think, is Dr. Eric Berg, and he has topics about everything and about his ketogenic diet, and then about fasting, Dr. Mindy Peltz, and many longevity experts like Peter Attia, Rhonda Patrick, Dave Asprey, Mark Hyman, just so many. I'm going to list them. I'm going to make them pop up here in the screens so you can stop the video and then check the names out and maybe write them down if you want. I could also add a list, or maybe I make another video where I'm going to just talk about these doctors. And then yeah, just the longevity experts also, that like Dave Asprey, who wrote the book Superhuman. He's the guy who invented the bulletproof coffee, which I drink every day. And yeah, so I was following that, but also about books. I think one of the books that influenced me the most was the book by Dr. Mark Hyman. The book that influenced me the most about food is his book Food Fix. And there he describes not only what you should eat and how you should eat and the nutrition and all these things, but he also describes how the food industry works. And that was an eye opener, and that was kind of sad as well, also to read all that stuff. But yeah, like many times in life, if you want to know the truth, you have to follow the money, and then you find some answers, mostly not so good answers. But you have to make the best out of it. And I made my conclusions, and yeah, I think the best thing we can do is just grow your own food, organic food. I was trying to eat more organic since then, and but that's always not guaranteed. If you buy organic, doesn't mean that it's 100% organic. You never know. But so I was reading his book Food Fix, and I can only recommend reading that. That's going to be very good for you to know what he's describing there, I think, for everybody. Yeah, so the Food Fix was a very important book that I was reading, and changed my diet because of that. And these longevity doctors and advisors, they have been also very, very influential for me. And I was following their strategies, and for me, it's they all have some differences, and but for me, it's basically 10 principles that are important for living a healthy, strong, and fit life, and of course a long life. And number one for me is fasting, which is really a miracle. And that's something, no matter if you do intermittent fasting, where you just go short term fasting for 16 or 18 hours a day, and then have short eating windows, or do longer fasts to promote even deeper healing for your body. And the next one is, of course, organic and healthy food, and then natural fitness. So training in a healthy way, not in a stressful way where you constantly exhaust yourself. That's what I've done many years of my life, feeling basically not stronger, but more tired and exhausted after the training. And of course, yeah, it's more important to feel strong after it. That's the main purpose. And and it requires way less effort and way less time than you think to achieve that. So that was also a big eye opener for me. And then it's supplements. You have to use some supplements to really get healthier, like vitamin D or zinc. Some of these things we just don't find in most of the foods that we have, or in areas where we live. If we don't live close to the sun, we just don't get enough vitamin D, which we get from the sun. So yeah, and then sleep is a big factor where you can regenerate your body. And most people don't focus enough on it. They just sleep way too little. And I was the same. I went to bed way too late, and stayed up way too long, and didn't really check my sleep. And now I'm tracking my sleep and see how much deep sleep I get and all these things. And that's that helped a lot to wake up in the morning feeling fresh and full of energy, and not like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed, because that's what I used to be more. And yeah, so those are main factors. But it's also having short-term stress but not long-term stress. Most people live a way too stressful life, and short-term stress is good if it's intentionally, and that's going to help your body to adapt, like going into a sauna. That's short-term stress, and the body will adapt after that. Or taking an ice shower, or doing high-intensity interval training. That's short-term stress. But having a stressful job with worries all day long, that's for sure not good for your body, and the body will not be healthy. The mind will not be healthy, and the body will not be healthy. And then main things that are also very important for being healthy and also happy. Happiness is important. So you got to have good relationships. You got to have positive people around you and positive relationships. That's very important. And also very important is to have a purpose to get up every morning full of energy and excitement to do something that you love. So you need to have a passion in life, a purpose in life. And that's very important, I think, to stay healthy, to stay strong and motivated and live a long and healthy life. And the final two things are, breathing exercises, which I've done. Started with the Wim Hof method, and his cold exposure, breathing methods and cold exposure. But there's some other guys who looked into that, and I was reading a lot of books about the breathing techniques, different oxygen advantage and Buteyko breathing methods, many things you can do. And that's also relieving the stress, reducing the stress that you have by having the right breathing technique. And finally, it's you have to surround yourself with a healthy environment. You have to avoid toxins around your body, around yourself. And that's what I realized, that I was living in an apartment and with many artificial materials, no natural materials, with Wi-Fi signals from my neighbors, with EMF radiation, with pollution from the cars, so many things that are not healthy. And that was the next thing I discovered. I want to live in a more healthy environment. I was going out into the forest as much as I could. I was training inside in the forest, in the woods. And my dream became to have that every day. And then I started to look into houses, and I discovered a guy from Austria. He has a wood 100, building houses completely with 100% of wood and no other materials. And that was amazing. That would be fantastic to have something like this, but it's not easy and expensive. But yeah, I looked into log homes, and then I started watching Timber Kings, and it was funny, and I was just hooked by it. Talked to the father of one of the guys who's working in that series, and for a long time. And yeah, I was really, then I had the virus. I wanted to build a log home. Became my dream. And then was watching other series about that, and I was watching The Last Alaskans, Mountain Men, all these things where people are in the nature, living in a log home or building a log home, and like survival movies and stuff like that. I was watching The Edge. That's a fantastic movie with David Hopkins, survival, and I have to remind myself every day now, since I'm having a lot of problems here right now, is how do you survive in the trouble? Yeah, don't start crying. Keep solving the problems. So and then I was also looking more into nature movies and some other fantastic movies I can recommend. I think I should do another video about my top recommendations for videos and movies you can watch. But it's from David Attenborough. His series Our Planet is just fantastic pictures of the nature and the animals. And one of the most influential for me also was his witness statement, what he has witnessed in his long life, how the world has changed. And yeah, I had the idea, and it became the idea that, wow, I have to do something to not pollute this earth, this beautiful nature, more than I should. And that was another reason why I said I want to live in nature, I want to take care of nature where I live. And so those are very fantastic movies. I think I can only recommend. And then other more movies. I was watching more of these, so I also seen these sled dog movies with Togo and the Great Alaskan Race and Call of the Wild and all these things. And yeah, and I think finally the movie that influenced me the most and that I've seen the most and that I can recommend the most is, if you're really into all this stuff, living probably more in the north than in the south at the equator, in a cold climate and in a forest, and building a log home and having a dog, sled dogs, and maybe trapping, all these, living in harmony with nature. That movie that I can totally recommend and everybody should watch is The Last Trapper. I think it's free on YouTube. You can watch it for free on YouTube in English. And that's something you should really watch if you're into this kind of stuff. And so that became more and more my dream. And combined with doing something that has a purpose, all the stuff that I experienced, I thought that I need to share this with people. More people need to know about this. More people should feel what I felt, that there's a natural way to feel more happy, more energized, and more healthy, live a better life with these strategies that I just explained. mostly natural things. And my idea became, okay, I want to go somewhere where I can afford building my own log home, my own wooden house with natural materials, and then maybe start a camp where I can teach people the things that that I learned. And so that was kind of the plan that I had. And yeah, it started all with trying to be better at something and being ambitious. But now that's not the main thing anymore for me. For me, it's now, yeah, these 10 principles that I try to live after, and yeah, make sure that other people could also benefit from these. So that's basically my main motivation why I decided to go this way and to go back to nature. And yeah, I live in this beautiful surrounding now. I think I was extremely lucky to find something like this. This is so beautiful here. And yeah, I hope I can realize that dream and can make this place even more beautiful and more fascinating, and make it possible that people can also enjoy this place and come here if they want to just stay here and experience nature, come here just for healing, or if they want to learn something about, yeah, good recipes that you can cook for yourself to have a healthy diet, and or do a healthy fitness training, and yeah, many of these things, and maybe spend some time with my huskies doing some fitness with them. So that was the main goal for me, and I'm working hard now to try to make this happen. So yeah, I would put a list with all the movies and all the stuff that influenced me. And I read a lot of books. Some books had like 700 pages. A book by Ben Greenfield. He's into longevity and fitness training. And yeah, you don't have to read all this. And that's something I realized, that most people, or many people, don't have enough time anymore to really go and dig that deep into this topic. Many lives are so stressful now that people just don't have time. They hustle from one thing to the other. And the dogs also want to be busy. Yeah, so that I was thinking maybe I should do summaries of all these doctors and all these things that I have learned, most on YouTube, but also from many books I was reading. So maybe that's another thing I will try to put on these videos. And but let me know if you're interested in this stuff, or if you're more into just see how somebody wants to build something, and if you just want to see pictures and videos of beautiful nature here. Yeah, just like. And of course, yeah, I was influenced also by these other guys on YouTube, like my Self-Reliance, Sean James, and that's the first one I think I was watching. And Dick Pernicki, of course, I think many of you have also seen that one. And then it was Nick Rijavec from Slovenia, and of course the Swedish guy Erik Grandqvist. Yeah, and yeah, that showed me that, yeah, this is great. This is also what I would like to do. So and then I was watching also about tree houses, because I think that's the ultimate thing. Living right beneath these trees. This would be, yeah, the best I think you can have for your health, and would be the most nature experience you can have. So for me, going back to nature and building a log home, it's not so much about like many of the other guys probably, who just want to be wild in the nature. For me, it's also a lot about health. It's a lot about my physical and mental well-being, and yeah, I'm doing it for longevity and health. And but of course, I also love working with wood. I think it's so like meditation. It's just calming you down so much, and it's also, I realized that creating something with your hands is something very satisfying, and seeing the end result that you have done something is fantastic, especially in an age where we probably run into more artificial intelligence and robots that will probably do everything in the future. That's something I'm totally not up for. So I would like to know your opinion about that, and I'll probably make another video about that. Yeah, but that's basically what it is. Those are the reasons I went back to nature. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon in one of the next videos. Yeah.